Hello everyone. In this video, we'll learn how to add a new food item to the refrigerator menu. An official food template will be added in a future update. Until then, this tutorial will show you an alternative way to create one. Start by creating an empty mod project. You can name it anything you like. For this tutorial, I'll name the project Sample Mod Pie. Next, open build mode. Find Notepad01, which is a carryable item, and duplicate it into the mod project we just created. For the item ID, I'll use modPie. Click Confirm. You should now see that modPie has been added to the project. Click the yellow arrow and open the mod workspace. Once the workspace is open, click Open Blueprint Editor. In the Blueprint Editor, select the static mesh component and rename it to Plate Static Mesh. Next, add 3 static mesh components under Plate Static Mesh. And return to the mode workspace. We now need the mesh IDs for each eating stage of the food. Open the data editor. Under source data, search for food and select the matching entry. Select Served Pancake 02, then expand Display Infos. You should see entries for the Index 0, Index 1, and Index 2. Right-click Index 0 and select Copy to Clipboard. Return to the Blueprint Editor. Select the first static mesh component, double-click its name, and paste the value you copied. Next, return to the Data Editor. Copy the value from Index 1, then paste it as the name of the second static mesh component. Repeat the same process for Index 2 and rename the third static mesh component. Make sure the exact IDs are entered correctly in the blueprint. Once all 3 static mesh components have been renamed, compile the blueprint. Open the data editor again. For convenience, drag the data editor window to the side so you can view it alongside the other panels. Open the Object Blueprint tab. Right-click Blueprint underbar modPie and select Edit Selected Item. Change the detail type to Food. Then click Apply and save the data. Open the Object tab. Right-click modPie and select Edit Selected Item. Under Source Data, select Object underbar Food. Select Served Pancake 02. Right-click it and choose Edit Selected Item. We will use this existing food item as a reference and copy the required information to our newly created object. Copy the following values: State Variation ID, Object Template ID, Object Category, Filter Category, all 3 object tags. Next, add a new index and copy the initial stat ID. Add 2 more indexes and copy the available stat IDs. For the sound settings, copy the object sound notify ID. For the hand gesture settings, copy the grab DT ID. You can also edit the food's price here. Once all the required information has been entered, click Apply. Then click Validate and Save. Finally, open the Object Blueprint panel and check the Details Type setting. It is important that the detail type is set to food. Next, we'll set up the static meshes. I've already imported all of the required meshes. Assign each static mesh to the appropriate slot. Next, import the food textures. Create a new material instance by clicking mi prop. For this tutorial, I'll name it prop material underbar dish. I'll also convert these textures to virtual textures. Assign each texture to the appropriate texture slot. Next, open the dish setting mesh and assign the dish material instance. Add a box simplified collision and make sure Nanai support is enabled. Once the setup is complete, save and close the window. Repeat the same process for the food setting mesh and its material instance. Finally, import the icon image and assign it to object icon. Return to the project outliner. To refresh the project, select a different project and return to this one. You should now see that the new icon has been applied. Next, we'll register the food so it can be used in-game. Select the project and open the data editor. Under source data, select food. We'll copy the settings from served cake 01 and use them as the basis for our new food item. Right-click served cake 01 and select append new item. Next, go to object under working data and copy the ID of the food mod we created. Paste this ID into the object ID field of the B1 food table row. Scroll down to B1 table row base and change its ID to served underbar mode pie. Click apply, then save your changes. Next, we'll add an interaction that allows the new food item to be taken from the refrigerator. Under source data, search for object selection set. Right-click Fridge 01 and select Edit Selected Item. Locate Interaction Backlist in the tree. Add a new index. Copy item 11, which uses the ID Eat Fridge Served Soup, and paste it into the newly added index. Click Apply and save your changes. Under Fridge 01, you should now see that Eat Fridge Served Soup has been added as index 41. Click the arrow on the right to open the interaction bag table. When the new tab opens, right-click Eat Fridge Served Soup and select Insert New Item Before. Scroll to the bottom of the list. Under B1 table row base, change the ID to Eat Fridge Served Mode Pie. Click Apply and save the changes. Select Eat Fridge Served Mode Pie and copy its ID. Return to Object Selection Set and paste the new ID into index 41. Click Apply and save again. Next, we'll create the interaction sequence. Open interaction sequence, expand index 0, then select interaction infos. Open index 0 and click the arrow on the right. Right-click Fridge Eat Food Soup and select Insert New Item Before. Scroll to the bottom of the list. Under B1 table row base, change the ID to Fridge Eat Food _ mode pie. Click Apply and save your changes. Return to the Interaction Bag Food tab. Right-click Eat Fridge Served Mode Pie and select Edit Selected Item. Under Interaction Sequence, locate Interaction Infos and change the interaction ID to Fridge Eat Food _ mode pie. Click Apply and save. Next, we'll create the action interaction. Open Action ID list, locate Fridge Eat Food Soup, and click the arrow on the right. Right-click Fridge Eat Food Soup and select Insert New Item Before. Scroll to the bottom of the list. Under B1 table row base, change the ID to Fridge Eat Food _ mode pie. Click Apply and save. Next, update index 1 under Action ID list so that it uses the same ID. Click Apply and save your changes. Next, we'll create the script interaction. Open Actions. Under Index 1, expand Notify Script IDs. Locate Notify Soup Spawn Pickup and click the arrow on the right. Right-click Notify Soup Spawn Pickup and select Insert New Item Before. Under B1 table row base, change the ID to Notify _ mode pie _ spawn _ pickup. Click Apply and save. Then copy the new ID. Return to the Action Interaction tab. Under Index 1, locate Notify Script IDs. Right-click Index 0, select Edit, and paste the ID you copied earlier. Now return to the Script Interaction tab. Right-click Notify Mode Pie Spawn Pickup and select Edit Selected Item. We'll now replace the object used by the pickup notification. Copy the food object ID from the Object tab and paste it into S1 slot. Click Apply and save. Close the current window and open the Object Blueprint Data Editor. You should now see that the changes have been applied correctly. Make sure the detail type is set to food. Review the edited data tables and confirm that all IDs and settings have been entered correctly. Close the data editor and return to the project window. Click the yellow arrow next to Sample Mode Pie. Select Create Local Mode Package. Choose the folder where you'd like to save the mod, then click Select Folder. The packaging process will begin. Once packaging is complete, the mod has been created successfully. Launch the game and test the newly created food menu. Select the refrigerator and open Food Interaction menu. You should see the newly added food item in the list. Select it and confirm that the food is spawned correctly and that the interaction works as expected.